Hello. Today I will be talking about the genocide against Cambodians that occurred during 1974 to 1979. The Cambodian genocide that was orchestrated by the Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot from 1975 to 1979 led to the deaths of approximately 1.7 million people, which was nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population, according to the Yale Genocide Studies program. The Khmer Rouge was the dominant group that targeted ethnic minorities such as the Vietnamese, Chinese, Cham Muslims, and Thai, as well as professionals, intellectuals, formal civil servants, and Buddhist monks. The Khmer Rouge plan was to create an agrarian utopia and viewed these groups as obstacles to their radical socialist vision. Ethnicity is socially constructed through shared cultural practices, language, and historical experiences. In Cambodia, the Vietnamese and Chinese communities had distinct languages and traditions, while the Cham people practiced Islam, which differentiates from the Buddhist minority. The Khmer Rouge sought to eliminate these differences by banning cultural practices and forcing assimilation. The Khmer's ideology was driven by radical Marxist-Leninist beliefs and a mistrust of foreign influence. Cambodia's complex relationship with Vietnam created suspicion toward ethnic Vietnamese. Religious differences also played a role, as the Khmer Rouge was an atheist regime that saw religious groups such as the Cham Muslims and Buddhist monks as threats to its control. The Khmer Rouge tried to justify the mass killings by portraying these groups as enemies of the state. I believe that the term ethnic cleansing is appropriate when describing the Cambodian genocide because the Khmer Rouge systematically targeted and attempted to eradicate the entire ethnic and religious groups through mass executions and forced assimilation. While the genocide also targeted political and social classes, ethnic groups were disproportionately affected, according to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. The genocide lasted from April 1975 to January 1979, resulting in an estimated 1.7 million deaths due to executions, forced labor, starvation, and disease, according to the Yale Genocide Studies program. The regimen's killing fields became sites of mass executions, and the notorious Tool Sling prison saw the torture and execution of thousands of individuals accused of being traitors. Expulsion was one of the social conflict patterns that was used when the Khmer Rouge forced urban populations into rural areas for agricultural labor, which effectively depopulated the cities. Segregation was another pattern that was used when perceived enemies of the state, including ethnic minorities and intellectuals, were imprisoned in facilities like Tool Sling. Acculturation was another present pattern when the ethnic minorities were forced to abandon their cultural and religious practices in an effort to assimilate into Khmer's identity. Hundreds of thousands of people fled Cambodia. They were seeking asylum in countries like Thailand, the United States, France, and Australia. The international community responded to this by establishing refugee camps and resettlement programs. Some of the global safety net organizations that aided these international crises were the United Nations and the Red Cross, in which they provided humanitarian aid and they documented atrocities that were committed. The United Nations backed extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia that was established to prosecute senior Khmer Rouge leaders for crimes including genocide and crimes against humanity, according to the ECCC, which is the Extraordinary Chambers in the Courts of Cambodia. The thing that I found the most interesting was when the Cambodian genocide highlighted the dangers of extremist ideologies and underscores the importance of international intervention in preventing mass atrocities. I believe that this serves as a reminder of the necessity to protect cultural diversity and uphold human rights globally, and that sometimes people's ambition can lead to disastrous things. This is my discussion post for this week.